Hey there, this is Clay with RelationshipInnerGame.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about 5 signs that you can absolutely get your ex back, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Number 1 is that you're out of damage control mode. After we go through a breakup, oftentimes we end up in this sort of panicked state of mind that I call damage control mode, where we're just sort of, basically reacting to what our ex does or reacting to what our ex doesn't do. And essentially, our ex is like some sort of, weird puppet master controlling the marionette, and we're like, help, I have no choice but to panic right now or whatever, right? And so that is damage control mode. And if you're in damage control mode, which is very common immediately after a breakup, things aren't going to be good unless you move to get out of damage control mode, okay? So that's the very first thing you want to do, is to get out of damage control mode. If you are out of damage control mode, then things are going to be so much better because your ability to interact and connect with your ex is going to be so much stronger. So the first sign that you can get your ex back is if you are out of damage control mode. The second sign that you can get back together with your ex is that you are demonstrating actual real change in your life. Okay, so your ex will not want to get back together with you if they believe that they're walking right back into the same relationship that they walked out of in the first place. So in order to get back together with them, you have to demonstrate that something is different. You have to demonstrate that they are not walking back into the same relationship, that somehow the dynamic has shifted, right? Again, I don't know what exactly happened between you and your ex. I don't know why they broke up with you, but you probably have a much better idea. And if that's the case, you probably have a good idea about where you can start to change things. Now, I said you have to demonstrate change, not just talk about change, not just promise that you've changed, not just promise that things will be different, but you have to actually demonstrate change. Because anyone can talk a good game, but if you actually follow through with action, whatever that action may be, again, depending on why the two of you broke up in the first place, then that is going to go much further in showing them that they can get back together with you, and it's not going to be the same environment, same dynamic, same whatever that caused them to want to leave in the first place, okay? That is the second sign that you can get back together with your ex, is if you are demonstrating change, okay? The third sign that you can get back together with your ex is if you are focused on process as opposed to outcomes, okay? So oftentimes in our life, we focus on process, whether that is getting back together with our ex, whether that is getting married or other parts of our lives, whether that is getting the raise, the promotion, getting the job, buying the house, whatever it might be, right? And so when you are focused on the outcome as opposed to the process, you are focused on trying to get the thing to happen. But what happens when you focus on the outcome is you're essentially having this mindset where you're trying to leapfrog over the small, boring, mundane, daily, everyday things that are actually going to make that happen, right? And instead, you're not focusing on those things. You're just focusing on the big, shiny thing. But you're going to get the big, shiny thing automatically if you just focus on the process. So what do I mean by process? Well, we all know that in order to buy a house, you need to have money for a down payment. So start saving your money. That's the process. Save money. We all know that if you want to, lose 10 pounds or something like that, you have to eat healthy and exercise. That's the process. Eat healthy and exercise, not some like weird juice, diarrhea, weekend cleanse thing or whatever, but actually eat healthy and exercise and adopt a healthy lifestyle, right? And when it comes to relationships, the process that you focus on isn't sending the right text message to force them to get back together with you. It's not the correct apology to make them forgive you for everything that you think you've done wrong. The correct process is to focus on the emotional connection between the two of you. If you just focus on the emotional connection between the two of you, it will make everything naturally line up so that you will automatically be much more likely to get back together. Because if you have a strong emotional connection, why wouldn't you get back together? Why wouldn't you just naturally end up in a relationship with somebody, right? So focus on the process rather than the outcome. That is the third sign that you can get back together with your ex, is if you are focused on the process rather than the outcome. The fourth sign that you can get back together with your ex is if you focus on the context versus the content. Okay, so whenever your ex says something, whenever they say, hey, I'm not attracted to you anymore, we can't ever be in a relationship again, I need a month to decide if I want to be in a relationship with you or not, any of these things, you hear the words that they're saying, that's the content. But what you may not understand is that this content is coming from something deeper, right? It's because your ex feels something, and that feeling that your ex has is the emotional context, right? And so whenever your ex says something, you don't just want to focus on the content of what they're saying, you want to focus on the emotional context of where it's coming from. So if your ex says that they don't feel attracted to you anymore, it's not because they're like, I have run some calculations and I have decided that you are no longer attractive. It's not like that. It's not the cerebral mental thing at all. It's actually coming from an emotional place where they're saying, hey, there's too much emotional bad history between us right now, and right now I just don't feel like being in a relationship with you, okay? And so you're like, oh, okay, I got it. There's too much history between us, and if I could get rid of that negative emotional charge between us, then boom, we can get back together, right? There you go. Or if your ex says, hey, I need a month to decide if we get back together again, that's coming from the emotional context of them saying, hey, I don't feel ready to decide right now, so I'm just going to put out some arbitrary period of time, let's say a month, that seems good enough, to give myself some space to actually think this through. And so you can look at the emotional context and say, oh, okay, I don't have to set my timer here and be like, okay, it's been exactly 30 days. Have you decided yet? Like, I don't need to do that because I can say, oh, you just need a little bit of time and space to really think these through. Well, hey, don't worry about it. I'm not going to pressure you to make a decision right now. I just really care about you and I just want to still be a part of your life because we've spent so many years together before and I just don't want to lose you like that. And so when you start to understand this, you can focus on the right things. So you want to hone in on the context, the emotional context, rather than sort of worshiping the content of what you're hearing your ex say. Just understand where that's coming from, the emotional context from where that's coming from, and you're going to do way better. So that is the fourth sign, is that you're paying attention to the emotional context rather than the content. And the fifth and final sign that we'll talk about in this video that you can get back together with your ex is if you believe that you can get back together with your ex. If you believe that this is possible and that you can do it and that you are not leaving it up to fate or luck or odds or anything like that. Because there are so many people that come to me and they say, hey, what are the odds that we can get back together? Hey, I'm just gonna see if fate brings us back together or whatever. And those are the people who usually struggle. They really have a hard time because they're looking for something outside of themselves to get their ex back into their life. Whereas the most successful people are the ones who say, you know what, I don't care about fate, I don't care about luck, I don't care about odds or anything like that. I'm going to make my own odds. I don't care if the odds that we get back together are 1% and there's a 99% chance that we won't. I'm going to find a way to be that 1% that gets back together, okay? I don't care what the odds are, I'm going to make my own luck. I don't care what fate has to say, I am in charge of my own fate. And those are the people that do the best when it comes to getting back together with their ex, okay? Because they create their own motivation, they create their own inner drive, and they're not going to give up when things get hard. They're not going to look at it and give up hope or anything like that. They're gonna sort of dig in deeper and find a way to get past those obstacles. So I hope this helped you out. If you'd like to learn more about how to get back together with your ex, then please go ahead and visit our website, relationshipinnergame.com. You can tell us a little bit about your relationship and we'll give you a bit of a customized plan to help you get back together with your ex or meet any other relationship needs that you might have. Again, that's over at relationshipinnergame.com. If you like what we're doing here, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up or go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a comment down below. Until next time, this has been Clay, and I'll talk to you in our next video. Take care.